yeah, before I forget, Greg, he's the guy who runs our YouTube channel, and I put it in the chat group. He said, "Can you ask Emma to send it to me?" And I think that's different to sending me the link, because he's going to actually put it on our YouTube channel.
Oh,
So
right. The link for this chat.
yeah, but officially, so that he can actually put it as one of his, like he said, can you ask her to send it to me? I mean, I can send him the link once you load it up, can't I?
Yeah.
But
I'll
I
speak.
think he wants to actually play it on our YouTube channel.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that. As long as he's got the link, hopefully he can figure out how to do it. I'm not sure what he actually means, but yeah, if you send him the link,
Right.
unless he needs me to do something specific, but this.
Emma, this guy is an absolute wizard with all the IT stuff, right?
Yeah.
There probably is not much he doesn't know.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is send him the link, and then if he needs anything, just ask him to message you through the video.
Yeah. Ask him to
Yeah,
just got Instagram.
yeah, Vegan Action Global. Yeah,
So he can just message me on Instagram if he needs anything else from me.
yeah. Okay.
Can
All
you
right.
just introduce yourself for anyone watching the replay? Hopefully a few people will join, and then
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
did,
I just mentioned the groups again if I can.
definitely go for it.
So are we live?
Yeah, we're live. Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Good evening. Hi. How are you, Emma? I
Good.
see you've been busy lately,
Yeah, I've just got loads going
getting
on.
it out there.
Yeah, I'm okay though. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, but look, I introduced myself. My name's Terry. This is Vegan Action Melbourne. I promote this. I'm going to try and do it each time we have a chat. We're Vegan Action Global is our mother group, which runs from our YouTube channel. If any activists out there, new vegans, if you want to start something up on your own with a group of friends, get in contact with us. Be part of the Vegan Action family. We've got 5 groups now. They're all independent, got their own organisers. I don't tell people what to do or how to do it. We're there for advice, and we mentor and help with outreach and just advice here and there on how to do things. And
Yeah.
we're learning too. I'm learning from Emma. She's only been vegan for, it's still under a year, isn't it? And she's managed to influence me to doing more personal videos, which have made I couldn't believe it. I've had more trolls on one post than
Yeah.
I think I've had. If you totaled all my trolls in all my 9 years doing this on Facebook, on one post, Emma, from you telling me to do more of those.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because you
You
don't like
know,
thing, do you? So it's just easy to just speak to the camera and just put it on there. Just doesn't take much.
yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know how to edit. I don't have the facility, and I don't have the skills, and yeah, it takes 3 or 4 takes, and I just get on there and say it. Um, and I thought, as long as I keep it short, it doesn't get too wayward. So, but yeah, it's really triggered them. With our message lately, Emma, that what veganism isn't it?
Yeah, that really did it.
It really has. Yeah, yeah. By telling them that they support trophy hunting and the dog and cat meat trade, they're not understanding the mindset.
Yeah. People
Well,
hate.
anyway, you have a go.
Yeah, people just hate to think, and like you said multiple times before, people don't want to know that they're participating in all forms of exploitation. They want to make it into a diet so that they can
Yeah,
principle easily.
yeah,
But if we keep saying what the opposite of veganism actually is, rather than just, it's not the opposite of veganism isn't meat eating. That's just one small part of it. Of
yeah,
the, as we've said before, unethical position in favor of exploiting all species of non-human animals. And
yeah,
I think, like we've said, has pissed them off even more, because it
yeah,
showing them, holding up the mirror to them in terms of you're against, you're in favor of all forms of exploitation, not just meat eating. That's just one small part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's good. Yeah. So what advice, if for example, any vegans are watching back this, until we get a few comments and questions in the comment section, what advice would you give to any vegans who currently aren't active, or who are a bit more sort of passive and don't?
Is please get out there, get somewhere, get somewhere. Look, I heard someone say, whatever made you decide to be vegan. If you saw something online, then at least do something online.
Yeah.
If you were outreached in the street, then go and imitate that person that outreached you.
Yeah.
Because if it worked on you, it'll work on someone else.
Yeah.
If you read a sign somewhere that said "Go vegan today," well, put more signs up saying "Go vegan today."
Yeah.
It's, and I think that's a really good bit of advice. Whatever worked on you will work on someone else. So
100%.
go and do that.
Yeah.
And post. Like I did the same as you, Emma, in that first year of everything I saw. I just shared it,
Yeah.
thinking. I remember a couple of years after I became vegan, I saw Earthling Ed do an interview, and he said when I first became vegan, I first discovered it. I just shouted it. He said, I thought I was the only one that knew this.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I felt 2 or 3 years earlier before I saw Ed say it.
Yeah.
And it's how I think I've heard you say it. It's like you've just discovered this, and you go to your friends and your family and you go, look what I just found.
Yeah.
And you discover that some of them already know and don't care.
Crazy.
Some deny it and just say it doesn't happen like that. And the rest just make excuses,
Yeah.
and it's all generally around food. And it wasn't until who was it said, what was it you first said that meat eater is the opposite of a vegetarian? There's an activist recently.
I think
Was
so.
it you?
Yeah, because I'm getting really sick of people saying that.
Yeah.
Meat eating isn't the opposite of veganism, it's the opposite of vegetarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what started me thinking about that definition. That it's the unethical position in favour of exploiting all species of
Yeah.
non-human animals. If you're not vegan, and if you're not vegan watching this, that is literally what Emma and I are trying to get across.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what happened to me that day I saw that pig being killed, because I knew I ate pigs and I considered that normal, but I'd never actually seen it happen. And I know you've heard it, but there's people who are going to watch this back who haven't. I was just walking along a street, heard some screams. I'll make it brief. And I saw two men drag a pig to a third guy. And I was pretty horrified at this point. The screams, the terror I saw on this pig's face is about 10 meters away. Then they flipped him over, and it was all so quick. And the third guy stabbed him in the throat, literally. And the blood was shooting everywhere, and he's gurgling, and the blood and the noise coming out of his throat. And in those seconds, I realized I was a hypocrite,
Yeah.
because I'd condemned how people treated animals. But it was in those seconds that I realized that I was the man with a knife,
Yeah,
and I had been all my life.
yeah.
And to the trolls who are listening to this, like, you can say what you like, but it was real. And you've probably never seen that. Even if you have, you probably participated in it. But
Exactly.
the few seconds before, I thought I was going to go and help a little girl when I first heard the screams. So I went from that to seeing someone killed. I described it as murder to my girlfriend before I even knew that vegans called it murder,
Yeah.
because I didn't know what veganism was right at that point.
It's
Didn't
mad.
know what it meant.
Yeah. This is,
So,
yeah.
and then a few months later, I found veganism online, and it took 5 minutes. No one had to speak to me. No one had to convince me, because what I saw in every video on my friend's page, as I scrolled down it, was what I saw behind their house that day. It didn't matter if there was bolt guns included or gassing or electrocutions. That didn't excuse it. It was all the same. But it was, and I'll reiterate this, which I've said a number of times, it wasn't what the men did to that pig that day, and it isn't what humans do to animals in a slaughterhouse. It's not what we do. What I saw was what the pig did.
Yeah.
That's what affected me the most. How he fought, how he, he couldn't win.
Yeah.
He was being pulled by his ears. And he was only, like I worked out now, he was probably 12 months old. He was a couple of feet long, 18 inches, 2 feet long. So he was probably, he's still considered a baby, a young pig, pulled by his ears. I saw them near my house pulling pigs out of the back of a truck by their ears. That's how they drag them off. And Australians will condemn that. But go down to Diamond Valley Pork and see how they get them off with electric prods and sticks and kick them. That's how they get them off trucks in Australia. That's how they get them on there because they know it's not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that hypocrisy. Getting back to the topic, that hypocrisy in that moment of when I saw the pig being killed, and I knew that I wasn't going to eat that pig. I didn't know these people. I wasn't participating.
Yeah.
But it all just came to me in those few seconds that I had pointed my finger at other people. And it was when I realized that, I was just such a hypocrite that instead of changing my values to suit my actions, I changed my actions to suit my values.
And that's why it's just so crazy, isn't it, when how people can
Yeah,
content a certain evidence and certain information and
yeah,
just make up the craziest excuses. And this is what I just
yeah,
don't never imagine coming across all of that information and just
yeah.
up the most disgusting, horrific excuses. Like, because there's
Mm.
no good enough justification. Like, there's just no good enough excuse. And I just can't even sometimes get my head around the idea that, someone would go, oh, that's not in the country. But okay, even if it's not, how does that make it okay? Like, what the fuck?
I know. My brother, when I first became vegan and I was all excited, right? And look, back in 2016, we didn't focus 100% on animals. I hadn't learned. I was just found Earthling Ed. Um, AV weren't around. They weren't around in 2016.
Yeah.
Earthlings experience. I was reading a little bit, and yeah, we talked about everything, and I was talking health to my friends, and they just dismissed it. And my family, of course. I talked about the environment, and of course, I talked about the animals,
Mhm.
but they just didn't give a shit about any of it, and I was just bewildered. And I got those. It doesn't happen like that in this country. When my brother first he saw that story I just described about the pig I saw being murdered,
Yeah.
I was interviewed in the street by Greg. Actually, I was talking about earlier. Um, and I sent that video to my brother to let him know because I said to him, "This is why I'm vegan, Tony." And I sent him that video. It's only about a minute and a half, 2 minutes long or something. And he came back and said, "Oh, I'm really sorry you saw that, but we don't do it like that in this country." And I messaged him back. He said, "No, Tony, it's actually worse. They get their testicles cut off, their tails cut off, their teeth cut out. There's a practice called piglet thumping. They
Yeah.
live in their own shit in sheds. This pig that I saw being killed was living outside. He was in a bit of a hole in the ground, but he was outside. They had a roof over it. He wasn't in a stinking shed, with 5,000 other pigs like they are in the UK. My brother denied factory farms exist in the UK. I've seen a few British trolls, anti-vegans, say that. There's over 1,000 classified factory farms. They're called intensive farms. And that's with something like more than 5,000 animals each. Over 1,000 of them in the UK. And 95% of you claim to eat only grass-fed, local. That's this bollocks you come up with. It's
Isn't it? Just more and more excuse
you just
there.
it's just bullshit. It is. And you want to talk about food. This is to the trolls. You want to make it about food, so you don't have to give that up. You're not giving anything up. It's disgusting who you are. You do support the mindset of trophy hunting, fox hunting, horse racing, all those things that you dislike. With the
First,
mindset you have about bacon, you support all those things.
first
It's the
sensible,
same mindset. Yeah, sorry, Emma. Yeah.
first sensible-ish comment. Is it okay to be vegetarian instead? No. I'll let you answer
No,
first.
no, because you're still using animals. You're not understanding what veganism is.
Yeah, they said I'm
It,
by my family lifestyle. It's not a life.
it,
We're talking about is justice and not animals as commodities or objects.
yeah,
Like
a resource for us to use.
vegetarian still sees animals as objects and
Yeah,
still exploits animals for their baby's milk, for their eggs, leather, wool, testing,
yeah,
anything else.
yeah.
We have the position that animals are not here for human use or or exploitation. That
Look at the comment underneath.
sorry, go on.
Yes, it's okay, Sam. It's totally okay. The answer underneath.
I know it's insane. What it's okay
No,
to
it's not okay.
use
The two of you, it's not okay to be vegetarian. Well, go without. If the options are too expensive, then go without. I'm sorry. Sometimes you might have to miss out. But mothers are missing their babies and babies are missing their mothers.
no.
That's a
Yeah.
bit more important than you not having milk in your tea,
He
don't
said,
you think?
I tried to avoid dairy but couldn't try it. Many vegan options are expensive, ma'am.
Yeah. Look, we understand sometimes in a country where it might be a bit more expensive, but then please just go without. Find another way. If you want to be vegan, you will find a way.
Yeah. I mean, you say that it's expensive, but it's actually proven, scientifically proven, that you can save money by living on a whole foods plant-based diet. So whatever country you're in, you don't need to be buying meat alternative burgers every day. I think you
No.
said before as well. If you live on a whole foods plant-based diet, it's not expensive, it's actually cheaper.
Yeah.
Expensive buying animal flesh, their secretions. I know that this
Yeah.
vegetarian, but even buying their secretions is still more expensive. But even if it wasn't, even if it was 10 times more expensive, wouldn't you just prefer to not have milk? So, for example, if you were faced in a position where someone said, okay, so it's either human breast milk or no milk in your cereal at all, find a different
Mm.
alternative, what would you choose? If you understand that it's an injustice and we shouldn't be taking what is not ours, we shouldn't be using animals as objects,
Mm.
then it's really, really easy when we put ourselves in their position.
Mm.
It's it's hard for the animals. It's not hard for you.
No.
We, we're all
And we're not forcing. I saw a comment. I think he was being a little passive aggressive. No, we're not forcing you to eat vegetables. We're showing you the mirror and telling you that you support every injustice towards animals if you think eating animals is okay. That's what we're educating you for. If you don't like that, that's up to you. Only your conscience can force you to eat vegetables. I
yeah,
didn't go vegan and say, right, I'm going to look forward to eating broccoli for the rest of my life. What I decided was I'm not going to exploit, use, and kill any animals anymore.
exactly.
And and you work the rest out. No,
Yeah,
I don't sit down and eat a plate of vegetables. None of us do.
exactly. That
No
same,
one's forcing you to do anything. No one is forcing anybody to do anything here except non-vegans who are forcing animals into slaughterhouses, onto trucks first, forcing them into existence. I'm going backwards. Into existence, onto trucks, into a slaughterhouse, and you're forcing knives in their throat. And and you think you're the victim.
yeah.
Seriously.
So that same person who's vegetarian said, I'm in the UK and it's expensive, but I try looking for whole foods a lot. I try cooking at home and I'll find alternatives with calcium and stuff. So again, if you're eating out, then you can definitely afford to not exploit.
Yeah, he's getting a bit passive aggressive. Yeah. He's feeling like the victim.
Yeah.
You're content stabbing animals and taking babies away from the mothers. That's what you're content with. And you're still misunderstanding veganism. Why don't you tell us that you're going to go to the zoo? Why don't you tell us you're going to plan a trip on holiday to Africa and go and shoot an elephant? Why don't you tell us that? Why are you talking about food?
Just be consistent with all forms of exploitation. Why
Yeah,
just pro
yeah. Are,
exploitation?
are you going to go out? I wonder if you're one of these people like my brother who said the killing of the badgers, he found that awful. And I said, but they're killed for the cows, Tony, that you eat. So they're actually killed for you. Oh, no, 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 they're not. He played the victim like you are.
Yeah.
Why don't you go out, go and do some badger culling, fox hunting, deer shooting? You might as well. Go to the circus with animals and the zoo.
Yeah.
You do all those. If you don't like those, you support them with your mindset.
Someone said I'm omnivore. Omnivore means that you have an option.
You still want to talk about food, don't you? You still want to talk. Let's talk about trophy hunting. Yeah, why I gave up trophy hunting, Emma. Yeah, yeah,
Well,
I had an epiphany one day. Yeah,
carried on doing it. It was your personal choice.
yeah, yeah. I get criticised. I get criticised for not going trophy hunting and shooting elephants anymore. Do you know that? My friend said, you'll soon give up and book yourself back to Africa and go and shoot more elephants. That's what they said.
Yeah. Crack on with your own personal beliefs and choices. Leave us to our own beliefs.
Is this the same person that chose to come on on the live chat?
Apparently, well, all of them are. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you didn't message them first, did you, and say we're going on there?
No, no,
No.
no.
Then they come here to tell us not to force it on them.
Yeah.
It's so funny, isn't it?
It's
They
like
don't see the irony.
onto this screen. So this same person who's vegetarian has said it's their religion to not eat meat. I'm against. They're saying that that's doing something for your own benefit. Still, that isn't
Yeah,
seeing from the point of the animals. You're still seeing
yeah,
the point of the oppressor. You're still
yeah.
seeing. If you're doing it for religious reasons, then you're doing it so that you can get to heaven or whatever it is. You're not doing it
Yeah.
for animals, and that's why you're still seeing animals as commodities and objects.
Well, a Christian could say he doesn't kill people, for religious reasons as well. It's, besides it's against the law, but put that aside for a second. It's yeah, it's thou shalt not kill. They associate only with humans. So, if I'm playing the Christian for a moment, yeah, it,
So
I don't, you don't eat animals.
because with vegetarians, like you always say to me, when they approach you in the street, it's often that they'll be like wearing animal skin as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
away from food, like we're trying to do, but obviously nobody wants to stop talking about food. When they hear the word vegan, they automatically think, "Oh, they're taking my food away from me." Yeah. So with vegetarians, like, why do you think it's why do you think that most vegetarians do hold up their guard and like basically refuse to change? Because that's what my experience is as well. No matter what
Yeah.
people, majority of vegetarians that I speak to are refusing to change and refusing to be an open, not exploiting animals anymore. So why do you think that is?
I think it's pure ego.
Yeah,
I really do. They don't like to be wrong. Um, yeah, I think I told you a couple of months ago, I think it was just before Christmas, we did one of the funeral events. And I had a conversation with a 40-plus-year-old guy, been vegetarian for 20 odd years. And I asked why. And he said for ethics and environment. And I couldn't believe it. 4 or 5 minutes later, we're shaking hands and he's going vegan.
no way.
He literally, I saw it fall away from him. I think it'd been on his mind.
Mm.
Um, he worked for the government environmental protection, and he was being sent to a pig farm to assess their facility, and he wasn't looking forward to it because he knows what to expect. It's just swimming pools full of shit on a factory pig farm in Australia and the UK, everywhere. And he had to go and inspect all this. And that was his next week's work. He knew what he had to do. And like he said, environment and ethics. And I said, but the babies are taken away and the mothers get killed after 4 or 5. He went, yeah, I know. And then his head just went down. I couldn't believe it, Emma. And then I looked at his shoes. Yeah, he's got leather shoes on and a belt.
Yeah,
And he just literally put his hands up and he went, "You're right."
so good. Yeah,
I was like nearly fell over because I said, well, I actually brought the environment. I said, the cow industry is decimating the rainforest around the world.
yeah,
Queensland, Amazon, Papua New Guinea, and it's always down to the cow industry is the most prevalent. Um, there's other industries involved as well, but it's always the cow industry is at the top
yeah.
for the reason. Um, and no, I don't have a link for it right next to me. Okay, go and search it yourself. This is for the trolls. But yeah, he sort of knew that too, and I think it had just been on his mind. And there we were in the street, and I just asked him the right questions. When I pointed his shoes out and his belt, he said he didn't want to kill animals. He's taking their mum away. He's killing the babies. He's killing the mum, and
Yeah,
he's wearing the skin. And I said, well, what don't you do? Like you might as well eat them.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I do. When they give me that, I say, well, you might as well eat them as well. You're not saving any.
Yeah,
I know a guy at work. He drinks dairy, eats animals, all of them. Won't eat veal. I said, why not? He said, oh, it's cruel. I went, oh, for fuck's sake, just stuff it down your throat. You killed them anyway.
so you don't
He,
know. Yeah,
he looks at me weird. I do that with beer. You can call it reverse, I guess. Well, fucking go and eat more of them. You're killing them all anyway. It actually shocks them to hear it, and I think it gets home a little bit
yeah,
at times when you do it like that.
yeah.
Um,
You okay?
because
Yeah, we've got some comments on appearance starting to come in. Someone just said, you look vegan.
said what?
You look vegan. I'm not sure if they're talking about both of us, but
Hmm. Well,
yeah.
what does a vegan look like? What does a vegan look like? Well, I mean, maybe they mean we're not 20 kilos overweight, Emma. That's probably what they mean.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
You know?
Obviously 50% of the population, especially in America and the UK, for example, are actually clinically overweight. And
It's about 70%, 70, I think,
is it 70?
closer to, yeah.
Wow.
America, US, Canada, most Western countries, it's around, it'd be between 60 to 80%. I after my trip to UK 2 years ago, yeah, 70% easy. Just go down your supermarket, just count 10 people, and then count another 10, another 10, and it's right there. I know it's anecdotal, but it's right there.
Yeah.
And I actually went to a motorcycle race the first day I arrived last time. My brother took me, and it's predominantly blokes. But I played that little game there too. I was leaning over the stand where we were sitting, and I got to 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 guys
So,
were what I call overweight. Yeah, well overweight. And I just looked down, and my brother called them all zombies. My brother's 20 kilo, 10 kilos overweight. But yeah, they're all zombies. That's what he called them. And I just looked at him and, fuck's sake, you
like,
know.
but I saw a little when Jamie Logan spoke to Piers Morgan on one of the main TV stations, and Piers Morgan looked at her and said, "I've never seen a healthy vegan." Piers Morgan said that.
Yeah.
What the actual fuck? Like, she's the most, glowing, healthy-looking individuals I've ever met or ever seen. I've only met her once, but yeah, coming from Piers fucking Morgan, like,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. It was Jamie Logan, wasn't it? It was Jamie Logan. Yeah, probably one of the most attractive vegan activists out there. Yeah, most well known.
Yeah.
I know.
Ash,
I'm about 7. I think I'm about 7 years older than Piers Morgan. I'd smash him in the gym.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know, he wouldn't even be able to get off the couch, and I've done 20 push-ups. Um, he's just a
Like,
yeah,
want to strive for being as healthy as Piers Morgan, then yes, okay,
yeah,
continue
yeah,
examples for that reason. But yeah,
yeah,
it's all always centered around humans. Like, veganism isn't a position that we're taking for, in favor of humans. We're doing it in favor of non-human animals. We're
yeah,
doing it
yeah,
because we respect other animals, because other animals are the same as humans in all of the ways that it matters, like to not exploit them. So
yeah.
where do you stand on pet ownership? So I think I covered this a bit last time. Why don't you express your thoughts on that first, and then I'll.
Well, what we don't do is go out and buy pets.
Yeah.
We're now, like, I believe Emma has 2 dogs that she'd had previously to being vegan.
One
Um,
we bought from a breeder
well,
before vegan.
yeah,
The other
okay,
year
and
after.
that's completely honest, because you weren't aware. To these people, like, who want to criticize it, we evolve, we get better. So Emma would not do that again. I will never do that. My first dog I had 30 odd years ago, my wife bought from a breeder. Um, God, that was 25 years before I went vegan, for fuck's sake. Like, you're going to criticize me for that. It's just pet ownership. We take care of them. Emma isn't about to release her dogs into the wild and throw them on the street.
Yeah. Just because I'm
Um,
going to release him into the wild, just because I exploited him and his mother, before
yeah,
I understood
yeah.
exploitation.
And we are not trying to set all the animals free. Like, let's work it out here. We don't expect to open all the farm gates and let them all go free, because this is what some of you, what are we going to do with the animals? The farmed animals will be slowly bred down.
Yeah.
The pets, hopefully, the dogs and the cats and the other animals that are bred for ownership will stop, will cease. Sanctuaries will thrive, because people will want to go there and visit animals, help animals. Won't be a zoo. They won't be in cages. You're looking at the smallest issue. A vegan has an animal from their pre-vegan days. They just changed the mindset. They changed the mindset to that you're not their owner.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
you're
no.
their carer. You're their carer.
Yeah. Exactly. Guardian.
Yes, we have dominion. We have dominion over everyone.
Yeah.
So we use that to take care. The powerful should protect the more vulnerable. It's just obvious. In any other context, all the trolls agree with us on this.
Yeah.
The strong would protect the weak.
Mm.
Except when it comes to veganism, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Just want
Be
to.
honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. I'm just an ordinary guy 10 years ago, and I saw what I called murder. Then I found out what veganism was, and I just made a decision. I thought, I don't want to be part of that. I
Exactly.
use cliffs on it. I'm not cool with it, and I don't need to do it. So why do it?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, I didn't change much in my life. Change a few choices. I didn't change my mind. I didn't change my religion. We're not asking religious people to change their religion. We're just asking you to not to stop exploiting, using, killing animals, and get on with your life. We're
Yeah.
not asking you to not wear clothes or not drive your car. You know, just go about your life as you do now without exploiting, using, killing animals. That's all we're asking.
Yeah.
It's really not hard. We're not. Yeah, I'll do it again just to emphasise it. We're not asking you to go and live in the jungle and live off berries and walk around naked because that's what you think we should do. We're not asking you to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not asking.
We are living in a non-perfect world built on centuries of exploiting humans and animals, and that's trying to change. That is trying to evolve. It's going to take time. And a great, I think Gary, in one of his interviews in Israel, he said to her that all um, the people now that are looked back over now, you know, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, um, uh, Pankhurst, Emelina Pankhurst, they were hated at the time,
Mm.
and now they're looked back on as heroes.
Yeah.
And the trolls here against the likes of Emma and myself, you're going to shake your head one day, or
Yeah.
your children will. Your
Yeah.
children will, and say, what were you doing eating animals? What were you doing going to a horse race and watch them being whipped?
That's why we don't mind.
And
Don't mind the hate. Like we'll never ever ever be offended. And this is what I always think. Like no matter what abuse people try to give me, I just know that I'm doing the right thing and that we are on the right side of history. And I will never ever ever get upset about it because I'm not doing it. I'm doing it for the animals, and I'm doing it because I know it's the right thing, and I know that everyone else knows that it's the right thing, but they just won't admit it often on, you know, a superficial level. And just going back to the dog question, or the sorry, pet question, but like Terry said, we don't buy animals. Like they're not ours to own. Ownership would indicate that they're some kind of slave. Like we don't own animals, we care for them, and the only ethical thing to do is to adopt and rescue animals who have been fairly domesticated by humans for
yeah,
hundreds or thousands of years, and they need safe homes, just like farmed animals are often rescued by sanctuaries and looked after. And you know, donkey sanctuaries, they're taken from exploitative conditions and looked after, not for the benefit of the human but for the benefit of the animal. So there's nothing wrong with rescuing animals who have been domesticated, obviously not taking animals from the wild just for your own pleasure, but animals who have been unfairly domesticated, they need safe homes. Breeding animals into existence specifically for human pleasure or for us to have cute puppies or kittens, like that is not okay.
all that money.
Thing to do, or yeah, breeding them to make money from them or anything like that. Yeah, that's not what veganism is. Like a vegan wouldn't breed an animal at all for anything because we wouldn't breed humans, so why would we breed for our own benefit? You know, obviously humans have children, their own offspring, but breeding another animal into existence for your own purpose and benefit, is yeah, that's not what vegans do. So hopefully that answers it a little bit more as well.
I've had one complaint about, no, it's not easy. You're forcing us to change our food and our whole lifestyle. No, we're not. Not unless you went out shooting elephants before that. Yeah, we're asking you to stop that. We're asking you to stop deer hunting.
Yeah,
Put yourself in their position. If you call that radical, then okay, carry on doing it. Carry on doing it. We can't stop you. We cannot stop you.
yeah,
What is your issue? Why do you come at us and tell us to stop trying to stop you? Ask yourself that. Who can stop you? One person.
your own
If
conscience.
what you're doing is legal, there is only one person that can stop you from doing what you do.
Even if it's immoral, but morality
Yeah.
doesn't equal legality. And
Yeah.
history has shown us that, because there's been many, many things in the past which were legal but not moral, which we now know and we've changed with the times. So vegans are just ahead of our time. Like, we just know that in future everyone else will be on, you know, following the crowd. But at the moment, you just want to keep following the current crowd and situation, which most people think are normal. But we all know deep down in our hearts and within our body that it's not. We don't enjoy exploiting and harming animals. Nobody wants to do it, like, unless you're an actual psychopath. It's just that either most people are brainwashed, or some people just don't actually care. Like, they'd rather put their own selfish desires over, you know, others. But then vegans are just saying, no, okay, we're actually just going to align our morals with our actions. Like, we don't want to be hypocrites anymore. Like, how can you continue doing those things to innocent, defenseless individuals when we don't actually need to? Like, it would be bad enough if we did need to do it for survival, but the fact is we don't. So yeah, like, we're not asking you to radically change your lifestyle, and we're not forcing you into eating something completely different, because this isn't about food. But when you have the mindset that we shouldn't oppress animals, a plant-based diet is just one of the consequences that falls after adopting this mindset. So we're not forcing our diet on you. We're not forcing our views on you. You either have the mindset and other consequences come to follow, other practices come to follow, or you don't have the mindset and you want to just continue with this oppressive mindset and exploiting animals. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
Let's look.
It's what was it? What was that quote I put out? We can't force you to be vegan. Only your conscience can do that. It's up to you. It's just up to you. And you've chosen to come here. Some of the best activists that I've met, I know 3 or 4 really good activists who used to be trolls exactly like these people here.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think that's a known phenomenon. I don't know the statistics or links to it again, you know. Somebody asked, yeah, that's anecdotal, my little story about counting in the supermarket or the mall. Yeah, it is anecdotal, and I know what it means, you know, but you chose to come here and listen to me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now you go down the supermarket and count 10 people, and you'll find about 8 of them are obese, at least overweight or obese, getting back to that. But we're not here about that. I don't care. You can be obese. Just stop exploiting animals.
Yeah.
How's that? Eat
Yeah.
what you want. Fill yourself up on Coca-Cola and potato chips. Don't care. Don't care. It's not a health movement. It's not an environmental movement. We're not telling you what to eat. Go and eat vegan donuts and Coca-Cola all day and all night if you like. You know, it's
Exploiting animals, we don't actually care.
no, no. Stop shooting elephants and lions. Oh, you don't do that, do you? Oh, you're against that. I saw one of the comments said, well, I think we should eat animals, but I'm against using them for sport and that. You are that person we're talking about. You support the mindset of using animals. He's probably quite a reasonable person. He is one of those honest, he was being honest. Doesn't like horse racing and dog racing. Probably dislikes bullfighting and trophy hunting. But you have the mindset of those people.
Yeah.
You don't support what they do, but you do support the mindset that
Yeah.
they're objects, that they're a commodity.
Yeah.
You've commodified one group of animals for your purpose. So anybody else, let's get this clear, anybody else can do anything they want to any other group of animals. Because if you see animals as objects for you to use, so can they. Those animals you find cute and lovely and you don't want to hurt. You got to put up with it, suffer it, or be vegan. You
Yeah.
want to point your finger at anyone, you got to be vegan to do it.
Yeah.
This
Exactly.
radical life change of not killing animals with some choices. You walk in a supermarket and buy some soy milk, almond milk. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. There's a few animals die. Yeah, we know that. You make a few different choices. You go and buy a plant-based burger. You go and buy some sausages. You make a curry out of beans and chickpeas and broccoli and pumpkin.
Mm.
It's really quite easy.
So easy. It doesn't take any
You
more time.
know,
Like, when you're going to the shop anyway, it doesn't take any more time to be vegan.
no,
No more
no,
moving your hand from one to the other shelf.
yeah.
Shopping anyway, you're just buying different options, and it's just no longer buying leather products and wool, and it doesn't take time. It's not
Yeah,
we're not trying to get you to.
it's. I mean, like some things, it might take a bit extra at first. The first few weeks, if you're a woman wearing makeup, and you want to find some vegan makeups, and yeah, but once you found your makeup, this is what I tell people: once you found the one you like, you
That's
know where it is on the shelf. You know what it's going to do. You don't have to research it every time. It's the same with the packet of biscuits.
yeah,
You find a packet of biscuits that are vegan, you go straight there. Okay, you've lost a few options, but what's the other alternative? Like separate mothers and babies and go back to that, to objectifying animals because you can't get a decent vegan chocolate biscuit. Is that what you're going to do? Is that what it's come down to?
so
It's
this San person said earlier that this was the vegetarian from the start. They said that they're going to try dairy alternatives. So if you were in the animal's position, would you want someone to try, or would you want someone to do it? Because anything less, than definitely doing it, we wouldn't be okay with if we were in their position. That same person said, is Zara faux bomber jacket vegan? It's the
no,
easiest thing
no.
to check.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it. Just check.
Just Google it. We don't know everything. We don't know every single product that's vegan in the world. Like honestly, I wish we did. God, my brain has exploded. They say we go stupid. The amount of knowledge I've had to learn just to justify our position. You need to justify your position, and you never can. You can't. But
Yeah,
we're not forcing you. We're here. We're here to stay because Emma is never, ever, 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 ever going to stop, and nor am I until we can't do it anymore.
yeah.
Like I'll be shutting up way before Emma. You've got Emma for much longer. Okay,
Never know.
she's going to be here for, well.
Diet.
She,
Someone said that
sorry.
we've got acidic bodies because of beans and lentils. Just go to any of my videos and go and look. And Chip as well, who's in the chat. He's an absolute tank. Go onto his profile or my profile or even Terry's. Like Terry's in his 60s for fuck's sakes, and I can guarantee he's even healthier than you. Like you're denying actual facts.
Yeah.
It's just mind. Like honestly, it just fructose and just what are you talking about? Like I can guarantee the percentage of vegans that are healthier. Go on.
I can't speak. You carry on. It's just
It's just, if it wasn't for the animals, this is what people don't understand. Like, we end up repeating ourselves over and over again. If it
I
wasn't
know.
animals, like, there's no way we would be doing this, because you people drive us fucking insane. Like,
Yeah.
just
It's you are the reason we're here. You know that. Like Emma and I talk off air, and you are literally the reason we're here. So it is entertaining for us. Like I just saw a comment. It's just disappeared that we are both health conscious vegans. Yeah, I think Emma pretty much is. I am very a little bit, mainly, but not because I'm health conscious. It's because one, I really like the food. Two, I do live on a budget because I'm not mega rich, and it's so privileged to be vegan, and I'm unemployed. We're all unemployed. Um, so,
employed.
so I eat a lot of oats. I had a big smoothie tonight with actually first time ever put tofu in my smoothie.
Really?
Because I have been working out a bit more. So I mean, I'll just see what happens. I just play with things, right? But anyway, it's full of spinach, carrot, cucumber, berries, 4 bananas, soy milk, water, ice, oats, bran, wheat bix. Right, that's my smoothie, and it's like this big, and I have about 1.5 liters, and I take about half a liter to work tomorrow. Yeah, it is really, really healthy, but I don't particularly do it for that. I do it because I really like it, and it's reasonably cheap. It's easy to do. It's easy to wash up, and the bonus is I got the same waist. I'm 63. And I got the same waist and a six pack, the same waist size I had when I was 18.
But
So like fucking get over it.
yeah.
I'm in the best shape I've ever been. Um, I'm stronger than I've ever been. Definitely, my work helps with that. I was probably fitter in the 90s when I was racing motorcycles. I was probably a bit fitter, but I was fucking 32, 35. You
Just
know,
just ridiculous, because you're saying this to, like, there's world class athletes and
yeah,
bodybuilders who are living healthy on a full plant based diet. So you're not only denying scientific research, because the science now says, but you're also denying, like, the actual full evidence in the form of actual humans that are right in front.
anecdotal, and scientific.
Yeah, and most of these
You
profiles,
know?
like we always say, are anonymous. They don't have even a profile photo.
No,
Like,
no,
okay, so you publish your videos and photos of how healthy you are on
yeah,
your, animal flesh and stuff,
standard,
and then we'll,
standard, standard British diet. You'd
yeah,
call it, wouldn't you?
and talking
Or
about,
standard Australian diet. It's much the same. Standard American diet is much the same. You know, fried shit, fucking processed. Dead flesh. You know, processed milks, butters, cheeses that are mouldy. It's mould, for God's sake. That's where it gets its flavour. Yeah, I thought it was delicious too. People actually eat the mouldy cheese. My dad used to.
oh,
And he used to come near me, and I'd tell him to piss off. Like I was a little kid, and he's breathing on me. There's people in Italy who eat the maggot cheese with the maggots. That's you. That's you. You support that if you're not vegan.
like, why is it always, so you're going on about the food side because you've seen the word
Yeah,
vegan in the title, so these people can't stop talking about food. And half of me thinks it's because they're addicts, and half of me thinks it's because they are just so brainwashed into thinking that we need these things. But if you're talking about exploiting animals for food, I can guarantee that you're probably still buying toiletries that are tested on them as well. You're probably still
yeah,
wearing leather and wool. So you're trying to make this just about food, but I can guarantee, still exploit animals other than just food. So we're not asking
yeah,
you to change your diet. We're just asking you to stop exploiting animals. And like I said earlier, one of the consequences to that is just switching to a full plant-based diet. But you don't need to eat unhealthily. You can eat a whole foods plant-based diet, which is what I eat. I don't eat any processed food at all. And yeah, it's just crazy how, like Chip, like I said, he's an absolute tank and he's hugely fit. Can guarantee that he's a lot fitter than anyone else in this chat. And they're
Yeah,
still talking about health. Like it's just
yeah.
another excuse because you want to continue
And I had
being
I had a Beyond Burger last night. I had a Beyond Burger last night with vegan bacon and vegan cheese, and would you believe it, vegan onions? Because I don't like the non-vegan onions, right? I put the vegan onions on it, but they're double the price. Do you know that? Double the price.
a vegan.
Yeah, when I make a curry, I buy the cheaper non-vegan onions. Yeah,
What the fuck? Oh, it's like my husband at
there's
work.
no crop deaths with them. There's no crop deaths with them either.
Huh?
There's no crop deaths with the non-vegan ones.
Just,
Only with the vegan ones. Yeah,
yeah, my husband, he just gets so much shit at work. Obviously, he's the only vegan, and they're constantly saying, "Oh, you know, that horrible, you don't even eat real food." And he just keeps saying, like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean, that horrible vegan food? Like, we eat the same as you, but just taking out the exploitative bits of animal flesh. Like, it's not even that different. You know, most of what we eat, you also eat, and you're telling us that we don't eat real food.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
insane. It's crazy.
Well, it's that switch. Well, you've got to switch over to all the vegan vegetables, haven't you? You know, it's
Vegan vegetables. Right, should we start to wrap it up there? Because I need to take yeah, I need to take one of the dogs to the vets to have a vaccine. So yeah, why don't you tell people again who you are, what you know, what you do with Vegan Action XYZ, and if they want to join you.
yeah. All right. Well, I'm Terry Phillips. I run Vegan Action Melbourne. I started that 4.5 years ago or so. We now have Brisbane, Essex, Kent, Sydney. If you're an activist, you want to get active, give us a contact at Vegan Action Melbourne. YouTube channel Vegan Action Global, run by Greg. That's really, really good. It's a really interesting channel. Just different things on it, documentaries, chats. Gary Roski is on there with a podcast, interviews, protests, store disruptions. Which the last one we did at the Sea Life restaurant, that got a bit of got a few viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to join Vegan Action Global, the family, drop us a message at Vegan Action Melbourne on Instagram, and we can see what we do, whatever countries we're in. We just want to help people along, help vegans be active, get active, whatever helps you be vegan, go out and do that at least. And then, learn from the likes of Emma. She's just on fire at the moment.
Just please be
And
vegan. Try and do something.
yeah, isn't it it's the moral baseline to be vegan, but that's just ending what we used to do. To create a vegan world, we need people to be active. And yet we don't need all these trolls. They think that we have to make everybody vegan in the world. That's the other trap that they've already fallen into. They think they're going to get up on a Monday morning, open the newspapers, turn to, and it's, oh, we're vegan now. That's really what I think they're imagining. It's already happening. It's already happening. Greyhound racing's depleting. It's coming to an end. I saw a dog meat. The dog meat is finally coming to an end in South Korea. I bet all the trolls are happy about that. I wonder, or they should be upset. To be consistent, they should be upset. The next would be the pig industry in South Korea. We are winning. Laws are changing, and it happens when society accepts things.
Yeah.
That's the legality and morality. I just want to mention this: legality and morality do not, they're not the same.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was a couple of years ago now looking into legality of rape in countries, raping wives in countries, because it is still currently legal in many countries. Did you know that, Emma?
No,
Sure you did.
no, well,
It is still legal to rape your wife. So on the logic of trolls, it's still, that's okay because it's legal. Now in the UK, while I was looking into this, it was still legal to rape your wife, for a man to rape his wife up until, you're not going to believe this, 1992.
think I remember seeing that somewhere. Yeah, that is crazy, isn't it?
That
Absolutely.
that is in your lifetime, and you were born around about then.
That year I was born, yeah.
And that's, it was so late. You know, that should have been made illegal 100 years earlier.
Exactly.
So up until then, the trolls, I know you're not going to like this analogy, but if raping your wife was legal in 1991,
You've done
did
it.
that make it right? Did
Exactly.
that make it right?
Things legal, it doesn't mean that we should just go ahead and do it.
Yes.
It's just,
So just because shoving a pig into a gas chamber is legal doesn't make it right.
exactly.
You're not going to like that analogy, I know that, but
That's a good analogy.
that's what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I think I thought it was around. I heard recently that it was around about then, but that was in the UK. Did you say in
Yeah.
1990?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. So again, someone has asked me multiple times, "Is that fake wool, Emma?" Do you really think I would be sat here wearing someone's wool whilst talking about animal exploitation? And you're saying that because you think veganism is a diet. So you think that we're here trying to get you to change your diet. We're trying to get you to not exploit animals for anything. I'm against animal exploitation. Why would I be wearing someone's wool? Like, that is the kind of mentality that you have. And it just shows your how unintelligent you are, because you actually think that other people would be that unintelligent as well. And trying to call out vegans to try and make yourself feel better, it's never going to happen. The only one who can hold you accountable is you.
It's the self. You're arguing with yourself.
Yeah, it's just,
This is what you're telling yourself. You're going to go to bed or go through your day, wherever you are. I'll be going to bed soon. Wherever you are, and thinking that you won this, but we're in your head. You are not in our head. You are the one that's thinking about us because you know we're right.
yeah. Cool. Well, this,
Deep down, the inner child in you knows killing animals unnecessarily is wrong.
yeah, exactly.
And the strong protect the weak.
Yeah. So
And those who oppress the weak are cowards. You're weak cowards. If you can't be vegan, you've got no character, no strength of character.
yeah. Okay, right. We'll have to wrap it up. So that
Yeah.
that fan person who came on at the beginning is still here, was vegetarian. They actually said that they're going to go vegan.
Thank you.
So yeah,
Thank you.
challenge 22 to switch to a
Yeah.
plant-based diet. It's a mentor service, as Terry kindly explained to me. But yeah, it's a mentor service, challenge 22. But also go and watch Gary Yourofsky's speech.
This speech.
Just search into YouTube the most important speech you will hear by Gary Yourofsky, and watch his speech. And then, yeah, so we would just like to make sure that people know that veganism isn't a diet, it's a mindset, and it's the ethical principle that says humans should live without exploiting animals. So it's not just about the animals that we exploit for food, it's also about not wearing their skin, not wearing their wool, checking that toiletries aren't tested on them. You can use the PETA website to check. So it's just an anti-oppressive mindset towards non-human animals. It's not just the diet side, that's just a consequence. So that is really, really great that at least one person has said out of the conversation that they're going vegan. Go on, you're going to say what?
So my last word to that person, I see you've just come back on. put yourself in the animal's position,
Yeah.
and each time, you mentioned earlier you're going to try. I know you've just said you are going to go vegan, but to understand this, each time you put your hand on an animal product, that is not trying to be vegan. We understand mistakes and we understand the learning. Emma and I would have made mistakes right in the beginning. I know I did. You made wrong decisions, then you learn. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
But if you intentionally put your hand on an animal, some product that had come from an animal, that is not trying to be vegan. So just try and remember that in that moment, you are actively against being vegan.
Exactly. Yeah.
But a great decision.
And
That shows strength.
they
That
mentioned,
shows courage.
yeah, and they mentioned wool as well. So wool is exploitative. We shouldn't be taking anything that's not ours. We shouldn't be using animals as commodities. That is not our wool to take.
Yeah.
Any farmers and the like will try to argue that sheep need shearing. Why are they breeding those sheep into existence in the first place? They're breeding them purely and use their wool and flesh for their own benefit to make money.
It's not for their benefit, is it? The farmers are not shearing them for the sheep's benefit.
Yeah, they're
They're
shearing
shearing them
them.
for the farmer's benefit.
Shouldn't be exploiting animals. It's really, really that easy. All you need to do is put yourself into the actual victim's position. Okay, right. Thank you so much for everyone for joining. I think I saw Jason in here as well.
Yeah, thank you, Chip. Thank you, Chip. Yeah, well, I met him at Camp Out a couple of years back. Great guy. Really nice guy.
And yeah, cheers, Chip, for helping with all the trolls as well. Cheers for the engagement, everyone who's been attempting to troll. Please go and align your morals with your actions. Stop exploiting animals by living.
Stop arguing with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself those excuses.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All right.
Even better, take your shirt off, get a double bacon cheeseburger, take your shirt off with your belly flopping on the sink and eat it in front of the mirror.
Gross. Thanks for that visual. Right. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.